What's going on, guys? My name is Paul. This is 251 Reeling, and today I'm going to show you how to install a rear USB charger in your 2022 Tundra. If you're like me, you spent 50 grand on a truck, did not receive a rear charger in the back of the truck. So I just type in 2022 Toyota rear USB charger and hit enter. Boom. You see this guy right here. This is the same one I bought. Genuine Toyota. This is the part right here that you need. 855-32-08040. That's the one you want. Let's see, where did the part go? There it is. There's some for $50. Now the factory will charge you $175 for the OEM part. But this one here is $10. And this is the exact same one that I bought right here. I'm going to take you outside. We're going to disassemble the console. And we're going to install this rear USB charging port. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're going to start at the rear of the console. And there is my dual USB charger. This is where the little rectangular plate was at. You're just going to pop this off. It's real simple to pop out. You can use any little flat piece of plastic or a little flat piece of plastic crowbar to pop this out. This really isn't hard to do. This side over here is actually for a converter. This is like a 110. It converts DC to AC power here like a household plug. We're not going to fool with this. We don't have a converter in this truck, so this is the dual USB port that I've installed, and this is why I had to tear apart the console. So we're going to start at the back here. Alright guys, so I'm sitting in the back seat here, and first thing you're going to do, you're going to start with your cup holders on the top rear of the console, and it just pulls straight up. It just pops right in there, and then this piece here, you just pull it out away from the console, just like so. My mat's kind of got me held up back here, but it just pops straight out. Alright guys, so when we pull this piece off here, you can actually see where I've installed the USB charger. It's right here. Let me get it close up here. That's the $10 dual USB port charger that I bought off of eBay. It does not come with a harness, so you'll have to figure out a way to supply power to those two prongs, or you can actually take this apart. Let me take this apart for you real quick and I'll show you. Alright guys, so there is the USB charger, and it actually comes apart in half. And what you can do, if you can't find the harness to fit the back of this, see, I found a two-prong harness that would slide over those two prongs there to supply power, but you can actually take both halves off the charger, and you have a kind of a little board looking switch here. What you can do is I'll turn it over and I'll actually show you. You can solder to it. You can follow these two prongs to actually there they are right there. You can solder to those. You know, you can modify this thing however you want to supply power to it. But, you know, if you can find the harness, that would be the best thing to do. But I didn't have time for that, and I just wanted to hook this thing up, so I did. Alright guys, so moving right along here. We got the cup holders off, we got the rear of the console off, and that's going to allow us to run our wires to the front of the console to supply power to our USB charger. Alright guys, so after you take the two rear pieces off, you're gonna go to the sides of your console and you're just gonna pop these off, these side pieces here, and these just come straight out. Open this. These just pop. Actually, these go up, straight up. Okay, you're gonna do the other side. Alright guys, so we're on the other side of the console now. Just gonna pop those straight off. Open up here. This goes up, straight up. Just like that. And now you gotta get this piece off. This one's a little tricky, and you don't wanna damage it. But let me step back over to the other side. So you're gonna take this piece here and you're gonna pull it straight back. You're gonna pop it and pull it straight back, and the whole thing comes off just like that. All right guys, now that we got that piece off, we're gonna take the part that's got your parking brake and your hazards. It's gonna pop straight out and back, just like that. Now this is important. You're gonna have to unplug this piece here for your hazard lights. You're just gonna push down on the tab and pull straight back, and then you got one for your parking brake right here. You're just gonna do the same thing. It's got a little tab here. Gonna push down and pull out, just like that. It's got a tab right there. Push down, pull out. Now you got that piece off. All right guys, so the next part is gonna be the trickiest part of the whole console removal. We're gonna remove the gear shift knob. So we're just gonna take the leather boot, pop it off and slide it down. And there's a retaining clip in here that you have to get a hook and pick and get on the front side of it and pull it forward, or you can take a paper clip or a wire and push the clip forward from the back, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I'll take this thing off and show you what I'm talking about a little bit better. All right guys, so you can take a hook and pick set, go up to the front of the shaft here and pull the clip forward. You can take and pull it forward this way, but it has to go straight up in there and forward to pull the clip out. But what I'm gonna do, and this is the easier way to do it to me, is take a wire, paper clip, something very small, and just push the clip on each side forward. And then you're gonna pull straight up and take the knob off. And if you look at the knob, I'll show you what I'm talking about. See this little clip dangling in the front right here? This little guy right here, you can pull it forward from the front, or you can take and push each side forward to remove the knob. All right, so now that we got the shift knob off, this whole section here should just come straight up, just pop straight up. So let's see if we can pop this side up, pop that side up. This little piece has got two little pops. All right, so now this whole thing should be able to come up. All right, we got some wires connected on the bottom. Just gonna take it off. That piece comes apart there. We don't need to disconnect any of that. We don't need to disconnect any of these wires here, because this is my power source here. This goes to my front USB. Just gonna stand this up and show you guys what I'm talking about. See, the whole thing is that you have to have some type of power source for your rear USB port. And if you look, okay, and again guys, here is my plug to my front USB charger in my center console right here. I know this is 12 volts VDC, direct current. All I did was use some vampire bites and splice into the power with my rear wires coming from the USB port charger that I installed in the rear of the console. So under here, this goes all the way, those wires go all the way to the back, through there, and to the rear of the console. And let's walk around, and I'm just gonna show you. Okay, here's my wires coming from the rear of my console, right here. They're going up to the front of the console and tapping into that USB charging port that I've got in the front. Alright, so once you powered up your rear USB port, you plugged your harness back in here. Make sure your splices are good, they're connecting, and I highly suggest that you test your rear USB port charger before you put the console back together, or else you did it all for nothing. But we've got that on. I've already tested it and it's working. I'm going to show that to you now. Alright guys, so we're about to test and check the rear USB charging port. I highly recommend that you test it on a phone, make sure that it works. Now what you have to do here is crank your truck up because it's running off the power switch. I'm sorry, the ignition. So let's go ahead and start it. And we're gonna have all kind of codes up there because we got everything disassembled. Park and brake being number one. Let's get out here. Go back. Alright, so is it charging? Yes, it's charging. I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, here we go, right here. 66%. 1 hour, 1 minute until full. It's charging. So before you put anything back together, make sure you test it with the truck on. With the truck off, it's not going to charge unless you wire it straight to some type of hot source. But the front USB charger in the rear, in the center console, runs off ignition. I run mine off ignition in the back here. So just make sure when you check your phone to make sure the charger works that you have the truck running. Alright guys, so now that we checked our rear USB port charger with the truck running, we're going to shut the truck off and reassemble all this console. Alright, so we're going to start with this piece here, the little flat piece that your phone kind of lays flat in. It just goes straight in just like that. You want to make sure that the two plugs are, this one here and this one here, is out of the way of the clips so that you can put it back together. Okay, make sure it's nice and flush and smooth, or else the next piece won't go on right. Next piece is going to be the center console piece that the shift boot goes over. We're just going to put it over. I'm going to turn, make sure that everything's going to go straight down. Make sure you don't have any wires in the way, of course. And we're going to snap and push that piece straight back on. And it's all modular. It just snaps right in. Everything comes apart pretty easy. It's not very difficult. Alright, the next piece is going to be your buttons for your hazards. Make sure that we plug your harness back in here. There's two of them. This goes to the hazard, and then you got one back here for the parking brake. Make sure we plug those back in. See if I can do this with one hand here. I'm just going to take our parking brake harness, put it back on. And then we're gonna take this other little harness for our 4-ways and all our other little buttons. Excuse me guys, I'm trying to use one hand and connect here. Alright, we're just gonna push that on just like that. And now this whole piece should just go straight in. Shouldn't have any issues with it. I'm gonna make sure that you don't get that wire caught or pinched. And we're just gonna push that back on. Alright guys, so now that we've put our piece on, it has our parking brake, our buttons here, 4-ways, whatever. We're gonna put our shift knob back on here. Make sure you push the clip back in place where it goes. Those 2 pins that you see inside of there go around the shaft and clip into place. So we're just gonna take it, slide it back on the shaft, pop it on, and this button should pop out here. We're gonna take our boot, push it back up on, snap it in place. Alright, so now that we got our shift knob on, we're gonna take that silver trim piece that goes around the console, and we're gonna push it forward. We're gonna snap it into place on the sides, down here, and up front here. And now they should snap pretty easy, in which they just did. If they don't, then you might have a wire or something. Hopefully not a harness plug in the way, but it should snap in real easy. If it don't, you have an issue. Alright, so once we snapped in that silver trim piece here, we're going to open our console up. We're going to put our 2 side plates back on. Like this, they just go straight down. Just like that, snap in. I'm going to do the other side. Alright, so let's put this other side back on. Just slide straight down. Everything snaps into place real easy. If you ever have difficulty snapping something back in, you need to check and make sure everything's right. And these just kind of go by the shape. This is the wrong side. Here we go. So this just snaps onto the side here. Let's turn it this way. There we go. You'll know it. It'll only fit one way. And it should just push right in. Nice and smooth. It's really not that difficult. The only difficult part about taking the whole console apart is the shift knob and this little retaining piece, because it's got so many snaps, you gotta pop and pull it back this way. But that's pretty much it on the front. We got all the pieces back together. Now we just got to go back to the rear here. Alright, so we're just going to take this rear piece here, line it up, snap it back in place. Let's see here. There we go. Alright. Just going to bump it. There we go. Alright, we got that rear piece on there. And now, I'm just going to put on the cup holders. Make sure you hear them all snap. And that's it. At this point in time, the whole console's back together. The only thing we should have to worry about right now is resetting the parking brake code on the front. Alright guys, so with the console completely back together, remember, we did undo the harness for the parking brake. So when you start up, you start your truck back up, you should have that parking brake sensor. see it going off right here. You should have a, yeah, there it is, parking brake unavailable. So now this is the point in time when I'm gonna have to undo my battery terminals and wait, I don't know, about 5 minutes, hook them back up, and hopefully it'll reset that code. Alright guys, so with everything back together, make sure the shift knob is back on properly and the little buttons pushed out. We're gonna go reset the parking brake by undoing the battery cables. So this is gonna be a 12 millimeter. And we're just gonna undo both terminals here. And I'm not sure exactly how long it takes. I'm just gonna undo them and go in there and grab myself a drink from the house and come back. And that should be long enough. Alright, so I'm just going to take my terminal off here. And take my terminal off here. And I'm not sure what all this supplies right here, this little clip here, but I'm also going to take it off just in case it won't reset because of that. So I'm going to undo this clip also, just in case it has something to do with the ignition. If you guys know, please put in the comments down below, but I'm just going to undo this. I'm going to undo my terminals, and that should reset our parking brake. I'm not exactly sure how long it takes. It might be 30 seconds, it might be 5, it might be 10 minutes, I don't know. Just long enough to reset everything. Alright guys, so it's been about 5 minutes. Went in there and grabbed myself something to drink. It's hot out here. And now I'm going to hook my terminals back up. Plug my harness back in here. 12 millimeter socket. Tighten the terminals up. Ooh, that one needs to be tightened. Alright, tighten my terminals back up. Alright, so that should reset the parking brake. Let's go sit in the truck, crank her up, and test and see if that got us clear on the parking brake. And it's gone. Alright, the only symbol that you should have is your seat belt and that you got the vehicle in park. And that's it, guys. Console is back assembled. We got us a USB charger in the rear. I'm Paul. Thanks for watching, guys. I took the time out to show you guys this because a lot of you guys went out and bought a new Toyota Tundra, and if you didn't get the all the way maxed out package or premium package, you might not have got a USB charging port in the rear. So I hope this helped you guys. Please drop a comment if you know where to find that harness for that USB port charger. Please comment, guys, if you know something better that you can add. Let's just help each other out, guys. Please leave a like, subscribe if you want to. Have a good day.